The Strait of Hormuz. At its narrowest point, it's only about 33 kilometers wide. But through that narrow stretch flows nearly 1/5 of the world's oil supply. Not just oil, energy, trade, stability. When a choke point like this is threatened, the world reacts immediately. Prices rise, markets shake, navies move. This isn't just a strait, it's a pressure point. The Strait of Hormuz sits between two worlds. To the north, Iran. To the south, Oman and the United Arab Emirates. It connects the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Sea, and from there to the entire world. And that connection changes everything, because inside the Persian Gulf sit some of the largest oil producers on earth. Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, UAE, Iran. All of them rely on one narrow exit. One, that's the vulnerability. At first glance, the strait looks wide, but shipping lanes are not. In reality, tanker traffic is confined to narrow corridors. 2 inbound lanes, 2 outbound lanes, each only a few kilometers wide. That means something critical. You don't need to block the entire strait. You only need to disrupt the lanes. This is what makes Hormuz so dangerous. Control doesn't require dominance. It requires interference. Here's the part most people miss. The Strait of Hormuz is not valuable because of what's there. It's valuable because of what passes through it. Every day, millions of barrels of oil move through this waterway, not just to one country, but to China, India, Japan, South Korea, Europe. Energy flows outward, and economic stability flows with it. If that flow slows, even slightly, the impact is immediate. Oil prices spike, shipping costs rise, insurance premiums surge, inflation spreads. That's the power of a choke point. The first real test, the tanker war. The world learned how dangerous Hormuz could be during the 1980s. The Iran-Iraq War. Both sides began targeting oil tankers in the Gulf, not to destroy each other directly, but to damage each other's economies. It became known as the tanker war. Ships were hit, routes became dangerous, insurance skyrocketed, and eventually the United States stepped in to escort tankers. That moment revealed something crucial. The Strait of Hormuz is not just a regional issue, it is a global security priority. Iran sits on the northern side of the strait. That alone gives it influence. But influence is not power unless you can use it. Over time, Iran developed strategies specifically designed for this geography. Fast attack boats, naval mines, anti-ship missiles, coastal radar systems, not to dominate open seas, but to make the strait too dangerous to operate freely. This is called asymmetric control. You don't win by overpowering, you win by complicating. The moment the world changed, it didn't start with ships, it started with strikes. US and Israeli forces hit Iranian military targets, command centers, missile sites, strategic infrastructure, and in response, the Strait of Hormuz, the most critical energy artery on Earth, stopped functioning normally. Ships hesitated, routes collapsed, markets reacted instantly, and suddenly the question wasn't, will this war spread? The question became, the global economy survive it? Closing the Strait of Hormuz is not a military reflex. It is a strategic decision, because Iran understands something clearly. The strait is not just a passage, it is leverage. After weeks of sustained strikes from the US and Israel, Iran faced a familiar dilemma: fight conventionally and risk overwhelming retaliation. It chose the second, not to win quickly, but to raise the cost of war globally. Because when you cannot match power, you shift the terrain. The Strait of Hormuz was not sealed like a gate. There were no walls, no single moment of total shutdown. Instead, something more complex happened, a gradual paralysis. Mines were deployed in key shipping lanes. Merchant ships were attacked or threatened. Dozens of vessels anchored, unwilling to risk passage. Traffic didn't just stop, it became too dangerous to continue. That's the modern definition of closure. Not blocked, not unusable. Here's what makes this strategy so effective. You don't need to shut the strait, you only need to make it uncertain. Iran didn't treat all ships the same. It allowed passage for some and blocked others, targeted specific nations. According to reports, ships from neutral or friendly countries were sometimes allowed through. US and Israeli-linked vessels faced direct restrictions. This is not random, it's strategic filtering because total closure hurts everyone. Selective closure creates political pressure. It forces countries to choose, align with the US or maintain access to energy. This turns a regional conflict into a global negotiation. The impact was immediate. Oil prices surged past $100 per barrel. Insurance costs skyrocketed. Shipping routes froze. More than 1,000 vessels were affected. And within days, Europe began scrambling for alternative gas supplies. India considered emergency insurance funds for shipping. Global markets entered volatility. This is what makes Hormuz different. It doesn't just affect war, it affects everything. The United States cannot ignore Hormuz, not because of its own energy needs, but because of global stability. So the response begins to form: naval deployments, escort missions, coalition discussions, strikes on Iranian coastal missile systems. But reopening the strait is not simple, because clearing mines, protecting tankers, and neutralizing threats requires time and risk.